Hey guys, so East here, and today we're going to be talking about how to do or how to jump into the character Raphael. A couple of friends of mine said the character was pretty interesting. A lot of folks in the Japanese community said that he was probably top 5, and so I kind of wanted to kind of dive in and figure out why they thought that, because I really didn't know much about the character. So it's also a good way to learn the matchups. So let's. I'm not actually gonna. I'm not actually not gonna use Raphael here. I'm actually going to use one of my own creations. Let me know if you know who this is in the comments below. Yeah, so I'm just gonna give you a very basic run through of like what Raphael's about, what he can do, just enough to like really like get you into the character and just using him really quickly. Some of the stuff that I'm gonna be showing off here probably isn't the highest optimal stuff, but it is good if you're just trying to like get your foot in the door and kind of figure out what Raphael is about, right? So again, you notice Raphael's got the rapier. Traditionally he's been a very linear character, and so for that reason we're gonna start off and take a look at his verticals. His verticals probably his best moves. Again, we'll talk about some of the trade-offs of that a little bit later. But just to kind of go over some of the basic moves you should be using as far as his verticals are concerned. The first one is B, 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 B. Really simple, right? So if you just mash B, you get this not full combo. It's actually 2 combos that you can mash you, but your opponent can't interrupt you. So pretty cool. You can also just frame them. So if you press the timing when the last one hits, the next hit will be just frame. So you saw none of that was. There you go. So practice at it in your own time. It really doesn't get you much more than free damage as far as I've figured out. So yeah, if you don't get them, it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you want to like aim for that top level damage, that's what you want to be aiming for. The next one is 6 BB. You'll notice that that rapier is pretty long. He's got a lot of range, and so you'll notice that all these Bs are they're in order of basically how far they hit, and so that's 6B. But if you want that 6BB, the last hit to just tap them, you can do that. Now the next move we're gonna take a look at is 6-6B. So holding forward in B, right? So if I take a step back and just hold forward like that, doesn't really look very different from his other moves, and that really works to your advantages during match play. So oops. Like there, you see, kind of lunges forward. We'll talk about what I just did there a little bit later. But yeah, it's really good because you as Raphael, you don't really want to play up very close because he's not that great. You really want to use that range, and so when you see the opponent like miss a big attack or miss something, you can just pop him. And he actually gets combos off of counter hit for that, so keep that in mind. I'll let you kind of explore that in your own time. The next one is 2-3-6B. So basically like a quarter circle forward motion, like a Hadouken. You get that super fast hop. And you notice that he fell down with lightning. I think I have counter settings on. No, I don't. Okay, just making sure. You can also just frame that. So if you press the B button right when you hit forward on the controller, you get the just frame. Again, a little bit more damage, not much else than that. So yeah, so we talked about B, 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 B. We've got 6BB, and we've got 6-6B, and we've got 2-3-6B. Right. Last one I'm gonna talk about today is the 6-6BK. So I'm gonna sit back a little bit farther here, and that's really good. If you want to just like really quickly pinpoint somebody from far away, you just bam. It's got a little bit of startup, but I mean, as far as other characters are concerned, it's still probably within a pretty fast league, or it's in a fast tier. Ooh, just out of range there. So yeah, those are Raphael's verticals, and so these are the moves that you really just bother your opponent with. You can just kind of sit there from far range and just pop them, or you can kind of work mid range and go 1-2, and yeah, so he's really annoying. So when this happens, chances are if your opponent's good, you don't just maul them with your Bs, which would be wonderful. They're probably gonna start sidestepping you, right? Just like, okay, let me get out of this guy's like line of fire, right? So that's when you're gonna have to bring out your horizontals, and to be honest, Raphael's horizontals are probably his weakest point. Again, like I said, traditionally he's been a linear character, and so that really shows in kind of like the lackluster horizontals that he has. I'll talk about a few, and so let's bring up the list on the rights here. So taking a look at some of his horizontal moves. There's actually one more that I want to add to this list, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But first and foremost, when you're up close, you can just bam 2A. Now again, this is a special low, so they can block it low or mid, doesn't matter. But it's a fast low attack, or it's a fast attack. So whenever someone gets close to you, you can just kind of pop them, and then if you want to do, you can do like a rising attack afterward, right? But again, it's still horizontal, kind of like pop somebody. It also gets under highs, so keep that in mind. The next one that I want to talk about is 6AA. So 1, 2. So someone's like just kind of moving around, not really doing much. You want to stop them, you just pop them. You can just do 1, 2, and yeah, that'll pretty much stop them from doing anything, right? Also, not bad damage. 26 is pretty good. Oops. Yeah, also the range on that's pretty good as well. Just be careful if they block that. Next thing that I want to talk about is the 6-6A. So before we did 6AA, which is 2 hits. Next we're going to talk about just 6-6A, which is one big swipe, right? Again, this is high, but it's pretty quick. It's got a huge arc on it. So you can see he kind of like wraps it from one side of his body to the other. Just bam! Slap him. So again, this is pretty good for catching folks who are kind of walking to your left or your right, trying to get away from you. And then the last one that I want to talk about is the 2-2AA. So basically just going to hold 2 and that. So if someone's walking to the side, hell, walk with them, man, and just pop them twice. That's even better damage than the 6AA. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. This isn't going to guard anything, or it's not going to like miss anything, but it's good to just kind of stop somebody from moving. I'm not sure if you get anything off of counter hit, but test it yourself if you got the time in the lab. So yeah, you've got your verticals, pretty much the Bs. You've got your horizontals to kind of stop them from moving to the left and the right so much. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is what happens when you get into to stay still, and you can just kind of like bother them with your verticals, right? So let's imagine you've trained your opponent, like, okay, your opponent is not going to do any sidestepping anymore because you're just smacking them with these. And so what can you actually do to them? So really simple stuff, and this isn't like the strongest mix-up at all. In fact, the character gets much deeper as far as the stances are concerned. But again, something to just get you moving and into the character very quickly. We're going to talk about some of his back stance follow-ups. So before I told you about the the BBB. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? BBBBB, yeah. Also the 6BB. So these are really good because if you hold the B when you're done with the attacks, you can go into a stance. So for the first one, it's just going to be 3 Bs. So we're going to press B 3 times and then hold it the 3rd time. 1, 2, 3. Oops. And if I press back, so once you get the 3rd B, press back. There you go. You'll kind of like dodge back, and that'll block lows automatically. So once you do that, you have some options. In addition, you can also do just the 6BB, right? And then do that as well. So again, before I go into the options, just 1, 2, 3 back, or you can do 6BB. Oh, excuse me. Hold and back, right? Hold and back. And back, right? So keep that in mind. So these moves, once you do these moves, 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got a couple follow-ups. The first one is AB, so I just did that there. It's so 1, 2, 3, AB. That's going to catch people just moving around, again, trying to get out of the line of your verticals, and you'll see why in just a moment. So again, not bad damage. It catches folks. 1, 2. They're both mid, so they can't duck that. They're still going to get hit. They can't low guard that. Again, they also can't sidestep this, so they have to stay still. So once you got them to stay still, you got a couple of options, right? So let's try it again. This time we're going to go with the B. We get that nice little ground pound. Just whip them with it, right? So 1, 2, 3, back and B. And then you get some, you get a launch right there. Not a great launch, but you get a little bit of damage off of that. So that's, again, so take a look there. Bam. That's a mid, so you can't duck that. You can't block that guard, block that low. You have to stay and block that. That's going to be important when we take a look at the K. And we'll talk about the combo after that a little bit later. So again, let's imagine this time we're going to use the K. 1, 2, 3, back, and bam! Give it him toes. So he does that like double stomp, and so that stomp is a low. So you can already kind of see how the mind game starts going, right? You A-B them to set them down, and then once they're not moving around, you either B them for the high or you K them for the low. Be careful, you can be interrupted. Sometimes it might be just good just to chill. Just to chill. One thing to note about the K, if you press the K when you hit the first time, you can get a second hit. So you'll notice that he goes, oops, sorry, he goes 1, 2, 3, back, K, K. He does that second little stomp on him on the ground. So that's if you press K a second time. And that's also a just frame. So practice that in training mode when you have the time. So yeah, let's imagine now you got the combos, you got the mix-ups, you got the mix-ups, not the combos yet. We're going to talk about those right now. So let's imagine you're like doing your mix-up on them and you say bam, 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 bam. What do I do now? So here, really, really simple. I'm not going to teach you like the most optimal stuff, but I'll teach you like the really, really basic stuff that will kind of get you up and running. 1, 2, 3, B. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be using this, I've got 3 things listed here, but we're actually going to use the second option first, which is the 2, 1, 4B, the quarter circle back, which is this like Shoryuken motion. Or so like, this is a Shoryuken looking attack, this uppercut looking attack, right? So he just kind of shoots up into the sky. You get that weird like harp sound in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear that. And if you press back immediately when you press B, or you press B immediately when you go to back, you get a just frame. Like that, a little bit more damage, not much else than that. So let's take a look at it. What's it look like? 1, 2, 3, B. And we get the launch, right? 59 damage. That's pretty good, right? So imagine, bam. Yeah, that's almost half life if everything hits right there. If chances are the first couple hits won't, so the BBB might not hit, but you still have to follow up with the B, and that, again, 59 damage is still pretty good, right? Actually, I've never tried this before. I want to give it a shot really fast. Let's take a look at see if we can do 2A right there, or 2AB. 1, 2, 3, bam. Crap, hold on, brain fart. Try again. We don't really get much damage off of it. So that's actually a 2-hitting attack, and we don't get the first hit, so it only does like a piss poor 44. So then let's take a look at what we can do off of the 2AB, or what we can get from the 2AB, right? So again, we did 1, 2, 3, and that, bam, bam. So off of the K mix up, 1, 2, 3 again, K, K. Be careful, you cannot get the 2AB if you do the just frame. So actually, it's probably better off not to do the just frame in this case. Let's take a look at the damage. 1, 2, 3. Again, sorry. 1, 2, 3, K. So that's just 20. So let's take a look at the just frame again. 1, 2, 3, K. That was weird. Ooh, hold on. There we go. We get 40 damage. It's actually pretty comparable. Now let's take a look at what happens if we get if we don't do the just frame and we do the 2AB instead. Sorry, guys. 42. We get just a smidgen more damage, but I guess in this case either choice is fine, right? If you want to go for the just frame, you can. If you don't want to go for the just frame, you can just do the easy follow-up, which is again 2AB, so down A and B at the same time. So now you've got a little bit of damage on your side, and you might be wondering, well, what happens if I don't do one of those combos and I get like an opportunity to hit my opponent? In that case, like pretty much every character, we're just going to launch them and we're going to do a follow-up after that, right? So if you're just like, your opponent makes a big whiff, you can punish him with something, or it's going to do a 3B, which is that launcher right there, and we're going to hold that B afterward. We're going to hold it. So here, you see me kind of do like that little like jiggle forward, right? So once you do that, you can go into the follow-up there, which is KKB. So here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. Looks like that was a little bit late. So let me try one more time. 2, 3. There you go. Last, it's a break attack, and I'm not really sure why. Chances are your opponent's not going to be there. I don't think the attack even comes up if they don't get hit by the first 2 hits. So yeah, that's a break attack for some reason. But again, yeah. So again, your basic punish is 3B. Remember, you have to hold that B. You have to hold that. Hold 1, 2, 3. You just tap a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too fast. So now, you know your basic buttons, your basic verticals. You know your basic horizontals. you know a bit of a mix-up. So using the back and then the B, or the back and the K, right? Or the back and the AB to get them to just like chill. And you also got some damage after those. So if you guess right and you hit your opponent, you get some damage after those. Now you've knocked your opponent down, right? So what can you do? 1, 2, 3, bam, bam. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Don't be like me, guys. Just go for the 2AB. If you get them knocked down like that, what can you do? I tried to go for the just frame. So once you've knocked them down, again, we're not going to make this super fancy. Your opponent has a couple of options when they're getting up. So what we're really going to do to beat those, we have 2 options. Pretty much 2. The first is, let's take a look here, the knockdown stuff. The first is, and pretty much the only option we're going to take a look at is the 6-6 AB. So if we double tap forward and press A and B at the same time, we get this weird looking like pirouette sort of attack where you like just kind of tosses the sword up. What's important to note about this attack is even if your opponent blocks it, they can't hit you back. So actually, let me take a look here, and I'm gonna. Oh, I think I gave away who that was right there on the screen. I'm gonna make Mitsurugi guard everything I have, and then just attack back immediately. So here's what's gonna happen. 1, 2. So you can see that when I hit him, he attacks me back immediately. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do the 6-6 AB, and I'm gonna block afterward immediately. Look at that. It's pretty good. Let's see. Can we do an attack afterward? I wonder. Doesn't look like it, huh? Yeah, it doesn't look like we can. We might have some options though. Sorry. Whoops. Yeah. Well, we got some interesting options right there. I'll let you play around with that a little bit more in training mode. But yeah. So doing this move doesn't really have a lot of disadvantage as far as being able to get hit or being punished afterward is concerned. So you can pretty much knock someone down. So for example, 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, I gotta make him get hit. You can pretty much knock somebody down. Bam, bam. And yeah, you basically just knock them down and then do the 6-6 AB. And if the 6-6 AB hits them, you just go into the uppercut, the 2-1-4B, right? So bam, and uppercut. Look at that. Free damage again. That's 60 damage. That's like a third of a life bar. That's good free damage. So if that happens, the only other thing your opponent might try to do is reversal edge on wake up. And if they end up doing reversal edge on wake up, then it's your time to just start saying, okay, I got this. I'm just gonna hit him with the AB, just regular AB, right? Or my break attack. This way, if they do reversal edge, they get blown up. If they do guard and back, they get blown up. If they're Ivy, they get blown up. If they're who is it? Nightmare, they get blown up. They can't do any of that guard point garbage or that guard impact garbage. So yeah, from there that should be enough to really get you into the character. You know your verticals. You know some of your horizontals. You know some of the mix-ups here. Right? You can know the combos afterward, and then you know the follow-up. Look at that. So yeah, I'll be going over a couple of other things about Raphael in more depth. Maybe next time primarily concerning his stances, because the stances are kind of weird. His basic moveset, like his A's, his B's, his K's, are really, really simple. But the stances are what really makes the character deep, interesting, and also probably one of the strongest characters in the game. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below as far as future content is concerned, and see you next time.